Kane Williamson did win the toss and asked KKR to bat first, and well, there was that rain delay of almost an hour. It was under an hour, just under an hour, so there were no overs were docked, still a 20 over game. And how did KKR do in their 20? Oh, not as nicely as they would have liked to, but how can they? They've got a brilliant bowling attack that they were up against, which is the Sunrisers Hyderabad. We'll talk about that, of course. We've got Zaheer Khan and Joy Bhattacharjya here with me. Gentlemen, first up, you've got Bhuvi bowling in the 19th over, and today we saw something really strange. The strange thing was not the three KKR players playing for SRH. Right? Like disgruntled exes, they were catching everything. That tweet came from Kalol Sarkar, so thank you. क्योंकि सरकार जो भी कहती है हम मान लेते हैं, हम कभी deny नहीं करते. And Bhuvi, the 19th over that he bowled 2 no balls in that over. That's actually the first time in the IPL that Bhuvi has bowled 2 no balls. In fact, he barely bowls any in 340 overs odd that he's bowled so far in the IPL. He's only bowled 5 no balls in the whole thing. आज उन्होंने 2 डाल दी. क्या हो गया? बारिश आई और थोड़ा कुछ चेंज हो गया, फिसल गए. क्या दिन बुरा था, शनि भारी है, क्या है सिचुएशन?
देखिए इसके 2 रीजन हो सकते हैं ऐसे मुझे लगा. एक तो बारिश के कारण कभी-कभी ऐसे हो जाता है कि आपको as a bowler you don't get your run up going, you know, so at sometimes you've seen that, like, you know, bowlers struggle if it's a rain affected game for sure. The second reason I felt that, you know, he didn't play the last game because of some niggle, you know, so that can be one of the reasons, you know, that maybe he's not fully fit, you know, maybe, you know, he pushed his way back, didn't look like with his bowling, but your rhythm can get affected, you know, because if you're not fully fit and coming out of a niggle or an injury. So
I have another reason for it, which I think that Bhuvi was just trying to prove to us that he's human after all.
Right? Yeah, I mean, if you can bowl 2 no balls and end up with figures of 26 and 3 wickets, I mean,
that's right. And that free hit wala jo 6
free hit went for 6. I mean,
otherwise he was looking on course to end with 4 for 20. You had a very good point, Joy, when he was bowling the 19th over. You liked the aggression and the positivity of bowling your best bowler on the 19th, not the 20th.
Exactly my point, and this is exactly what Mumbai didn't do. You know, they stayed back and put in other bowlers in front where they should have attacked with Bumrah. Here, take a look at it. You have Siddharth Kaul, Bhuvi, and though Siddharth Kaul is a good bowler, Bhuvi is definitely your best prospect. They put him up front and say, maybe he'll get Dinesh Karthik out. And then the 20th won't matter. Siddharth Kaul will be bowling 2 batsmen who are not really batsmen. So that's what an aggressive team does. Put their best resources up front, attacks rather than defense when you're in a situation like that. And that's exactly what, if you look at Mumbai's, you know, losses, they're all, you know, 1 ball, 2 ball, 1 ball losses. A lot of it could be ascribed to just lack of aggression, where they're sitting back and waiting.
Just those small moments.
Yeah, the little adjustments that
change a little bit. Also have to tell you, SRH, to Joy's point of how attacking they are as a bowling unit, in 3 matches, they've got 25 wickets now. That's amazing, Zach.
Amazing, I think, and SRH does have a very balanced side. Like, you know, you look at their bowling, you look at their batting, you look at their all-rounder option as well. I think, you know, Shakib gives them that all-rounder option as well. You have someone like Huda also who can chip in with the ball. Yusuf, if needed, can bowl. So I think, you know, overall they have a very balanced side, and I think their strength, I think, in last 3-4 years, they've been building their team around bowlers. You know, they're making sure that they have 5 genuine bowlers who can do the job on any given day, and they've been consistently defending the totals. And even if they're bowling first, they're giving enough cushion to their batsmen to get the total. Which
and what a cushion they've given today. We'll show you what they've done to KKR. They pretty much strangled quite an accomplished batting attack. I mean, Zach is saying you have a bowling attack that can, you know, strangle the opposition any day. They're doing it every day. So it seems. With KKR, of course, they got them to 138, which means that the asking rate is less than 7 now for the SRH batsmen. And if your bowlers can set you up for that, despite the fact that you have a guy like Chris Lynn, who's gone, you know, almost up to half centuries at 49 of 34 balls, that's a great start over there. Dinesh Karthik was looking good, but after that start, to keep Joy, to keep them to less than 7 and over.
No, that's true. Definitely. Tremendous bowling performance. Most importantly, their catches actually didn't go to hand. So you saw at least 2, 3, 4 things that they just crossed it, or Manish missed that one on the boundary. Superb. So all of them were just missing. So you would say that actually luck was on the side of KKR here. and still they fielded brilliantly and brought them back under 140. The thing though I have to say is the one thing that really bothers me is I cannot understand the KKR batting lineup today.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely,
I'm just trying to.
Well, they're
wrap my
pulling
head
names
around.
out of a hat today.
Yeah. So exactly what you're thinking. You said Uttappa and Lynn. So what you're saying that okay, Uttappa is a more classical batsman, maybe a Stanley who's a really quality bowler. Maybe I need to have somebody look at him. After that you go with Nitish, but then you bring Narayan in.
Yeah.
Narayan at that point is hardly your middle order consolidator. I mean, he's either your blaster at the front or blaster at the end. Suddenly you brought him in the middle. You've got in a Shubman Gill, but you're batting him so low that by that time he's already under so much pressure.
Yeah.
You know, his team is 118 for 6. Andre Russell just got out. What am I going to do out here? That's a lot of pressure to put on a young man's shoulder. So at 7 and 8, to expect Shubman Gill or to expect Mavi to fire is a trifle unfair, I think.
Yeah.
And I also didn't understand why Karthik at a particular point in time was actually taking the singles and, you know, allowing the strike to rotate, and he had to be the man. He'd seen 10, 12, 15 balls. He had to be the man to take the attack to that.
I think the only time he didn't do that is when that no ball call happened with Bhuvi and he stayed on this side and hit the next ball for 6. Because you looked at it and you went, oh, hang on, they must have crossed. But he actually took a call and said, no, I'm going to face the next ball. And that's the kind of thing that you want to see from him.
You want to see more and more,
The fielding and especially some of the catching. I mean, you look at Manish Pandey's catching and you go, Kamal karte ho, Pandey ji, Kamal karte ho. This, of course, is the catch by Williamson, upside down. Shakib, this was a beautiful catch. The off his own bowling, they checked it a few times and it was brilliant. This is again Chulbul Pandey getting it done with Chusti and Purti. And of course, there was a last one also with Bhuvi and Stanley. That catch may be not that difficult, but when you've got a building running into you, like Stanley, and from the corner of your eye you can see the skyscrapers running into you to keep your wits about you. Have you had a few collisions sometimes when you're running on your
not
You've
really.
never.
I was a very safe fielder.
Safe fielder.
Has to make sure that no one is around me when I'm fielding.
But there was Ashu and UV, I remember once almost did almost sort of went into each other.
Trevor, the Australian coach who used to be with KKR, Trevor once told me a very interesting thing. He says, collisions are bad and we don't want them, especially bad collisions are terrible in the field. But you far rather have a collision because there are many times that you'll see 3 fielders sort of converging in the ball just from in the middle.
Yeah.
The point is, none of them actually want to take the catch. All of them want to show to the captain, because see, what happens with a high catch is you have all the time to ponder the consequences of what happens if you drop the catch. Ye hogi, padegi, ye hoga, wo hoga. So you're thinking, you don't want to be the one.
It's almost like she loves me not. She loves me not.
Boss, I have seen a skyer come up, okay, and I remember once Saurav was batting for Pune and he hit it and it went really high, and KKR playing at the Eden Gardens, half the crowd is supporting Pune and Saurav Ganguly, and the ball so high, 5 fielders could have taken the catch. 3, and I watched the video replay away, but actually moving away from the ball because they don't want to take this catch. Because if they drop it, they're dead.
And if they take it, and if they take a Ganguly catch in Eden Gardens, फिर घर पहुंचना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. So it's really like a catch-22 situation.
So to at exactly that point, that seeing fielders go together for a catch, as long as they miss hitting each other, I think it's a good thing. It shows this thing. The reason for success. You want success more than you fear failure.
Yeah.
That's exactly the thing.
That's what you need.
But the importance of fielding is immense. I think you can have the best of the bowling attacks of the world, but if your fielding doesn't support that, your bowlers are not going to look good. And today, that's exactly what Manish Pandey actually showed us. Like he took 2 brilliant catches and
Shakib as well.
Yeah. So catches actually turn the games, and those half chances really matter. And I think some of the catches which Manish also took today were just fantastic.
Yeah, it really was. Well, now look at what the SRH bowlers have done for the SRH batsmen. They're saying you just got to go out, get under 7 and over and make it 3 in 3, and you'd back them. I think the question again happens now, as it happened against, I think RR, was not about whether they'll get it or not, is it how many overs they'll get it, right? Because look at this batting attack. This batting attack is quite solid. My question to you is, has that 1 hour rain delay done anything to this pitch that this batting lineup should be wary of? Joy, you'd know this sort of a little better as well. Zach, you'd know it as well.
Nothing much.
It didn't look like it had done
because
much.
Usually at Edens, they cover the whole ground.
Yeah.
And then most of the ground is is dry, and that's what it looked like. Like the impression straight away you get is that spinners are struggling to grip the ball.
Yeah.
Which was not the case. That means the ground the ground conditions are certainly not that bad. Maybe dew might be a factor. If the ball goes over the rope, yeah, at times it gets wet, and then the swing goes away. That seam movement also goes away.
And how wet does it need to get? Just even a little dampness will do that. It just rolls into beyond the boundary. Usually nobody drives it beyond the boundary. It can be a little damp. Even if it gets slightly wet on the thing, does that make any difference?
You can manage that, and you'll certainly see a lot of players carrying those towels, and those kind of situations can be handled. It just when the dew is quite a lot, or the outfield is very wet, that time it gets really difficult, because for spinners it doesn't grip.
Yeah.
So for batsmen it becomes easy to line up and just play it through the line. For seamers, bowling those Yorkers becomes very very tough. You can never gauge what kind of lengths you will be bowling. So in those kind of rain affected games, or dew becomes a really serious factor, you'll see a lot of bowlers struggling, and the best way to deal with it is to look to bowl short. So when you look to bowl short, even if you falter on the fuller side, so you end up hitting the good length area. But as a bowler, it's just matter of experience, it's matter of practice. You've seen a lot of bowlers actually in practice sessions use bucket of water, put some balls in that, get the seam wet, and practice with that, because that's the only way it gets realistic in practice sessions to come close to those kind of situations. Not all the time you can recreate that, but you got to be prepared for these kind of situations, and you got to know your options as well.
So that's a bucket of water that's lying over there. I always thought that it was the bowlers doing a Rocky kind of, filling it with their sweat. Zach, you should say yes.
Whatever works.
You should say yes. That's what we bowlers do. That's what we bowlers do. Yes.
I never worked that hard.
No, you didn't need to. You're a natural talent, my friend. You didn't need to. Well, of course, what Zach is saying, KKR will be hoping that doesn't happen, because they've got Piyush Chawla and Kuldeep Yadav in there. And if they need to win, they've got Sunil Narine, of course, as well. So if they need to win, these three bowlers need to be able to grip the ball well. It's really as simple as that, because these are the three who can pull it back for you.
I think up front, Mitchell Johnson and Andre Russell have to get them wickets.
Yeah.
That's something that you need to get into this thing, SRH middle order.
Which spinner do you see bowling in the power play?
It's an interesting one, because see,
let's pull up the KKR attack as well, so people can see who their bowlers are.
If KKR goes into full attack mode, they might fancy their chances at going against Shikhar Dhawan and all that with pace instead of spin. Shikhar is a good player of spin.
They should start normally, I think, because if you look at SRH bowling lineup as well, and the bowlers did well, so there is enough to offer from the wicket. There is enough seam movement, there is enough swing around. You've seen Bhuvi taking 3 wickets, getting people out caught behind. Robin Uthappa got out caught behind. So I think they will be starting with the seamers to start with, and then build pressure in the middle overs through Narine and Kuldeep.
Excited to see Mavi for sure. I'm sure you are as well.
I'm definitely is, but this may be a difficult time to make your debut as a fast bowler.
Yeah.
And again, the other thing is, if they keep attacking and the game goes late, and then Mavi is having to bowl, say, the 17th or the 19th over, it's a lot of pressure to take in your first match.
Yeah, okay, so is it safe?
It might not go to 17th or 19th.
There you go. That's the call I was wanting to ask. So you definitely think that SRH has this game wrapped? Under 7 and over should really not be a challenge for them, unless something miraculous happens with the ball, right?
Well, KKR need wickets. The only way to win these kind of games is to keep getting wickets regularly.
I mean, the thing is that you have 2 good overs and you can pull it to under a run a ball as a required rate. So, I mean, you need to basically take 7 or 8 wickets.
You need to take wickets, and the thing about it is, the one advantage they have is Shikhar Dhawan will always attack, because that's his nature of play again. So he'll give you chances. A batsman like him will not play safe. He will give you chances. You have to take the chances. KKR have to take their chances. That's it. They have to attack from the first ball. They have to take their chances. This could end in the 14th over as well, as he said, rightly said. It could end very fast. But then again, they get a few wickets. Who knows what happens?
Okay, so basically SRH backing is happening here. So I'm going to ask you guys to guess a number. What over do you think SRH will win it in? Come
18.
On. 18. इतनी serious हो जाएगी बात. आप?
I think KKR has a chance.
Oh!
Get him a purple
The
shirt,
loyalist
please.
has spoken,
Purple shirt.
Purple shirt. But I just want to tell Joy one thing. You know that in life I have learned that there is a fine line between optimism and delusion, and you should
I
not
said
cross it.
KKR has a chance.
That also somehow is bordering on delusion right now.
Let us talk after 10.
Just some gentle sledging that happens on this show once in a while. After all, there is a red table at stake. I don't know why I just invoked it right now. I just like to, because it feels left out otherwise. All right, so we're going to see you in 90 minutes from now. Zach has said 18th over. Joy is saying KKR still may have a chance. अब प्यार किया तो डरना क्या, हमारा भी शनि भारी है, हम बोल देते हैं 15th ओवर में खत्म हो जाएगा मैच. चलो क्या एम्बिशियस है, प्यार किया तो डरना क्या, व्हाई नॉट, बोल दिया तो बोल दिया. अब 90 मिनट्स बाद मिलेंगे हम. ओके, विल सी यू देन, बाय.